welcome to Big Fights Fan. It's been a while, guys, since we've had an episode on. I've been mega busy. I've been staying up to date with all of the events in boxing and UFC. However, I've just not been able to get on as much as I would like to have got on. But that'll change. Hitting a sort of much more down period, shall we say, with work in the next few weeks. So I should be able to get on and get a load of content across to you guys in the upcoming weeks, and we'll make up for that. Big news tonight. We've got our first celebrity guest, or our pro fighter guest. We have Brandon Lambert. Some of you may have seen Brandon when he made his BKFC debut on the February 5th card, same card as Chris Lieben. So we're going to welcome him on in a little while, and that'll be available on the podcast, and it'll be edited into here as well. So yeah, if you want to live call in to the podcast, feel free. Just hit us up, or if you want us to do any follow-up calls, please feel free. Jump on all the platforms. I'll make sure it goes out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it'll be on all of the podcasting platforms as well. Okay, so Anchor FM, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Breaker, etc., etc. If there's another platform that you think we should be on, again, message in, and I'll try and get us on that platform as well. Okay, so we'll jump straight into it then. I reached out to you. It's good to see, a lot of people don't really interact with the fans that much. It's good to see that you're always active and interacting with all the fans. So I reached out, asked you to come on the show, and here we are now.
Yes, sir. I greatly appreciate it as well. It's always nice to have somebody that wants to hear you talk to them. So it's awesome.
Cool. I think to start with, we've got to sort of address the huge elephant and the videos you've been making. I've loved them. They've been fun. I knew who you're talking about straight away. We've been following Tyler for a long time, and good humour. They were great to watch.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I mean, even though they're funny, they're very serious. I want this Tyler Goodjohn fight, and I want it in April, and I'd like to fight him in Miami. He keeps talking about wanting to fight in Miami. I live near Miami right now, and I would sell that arena out.
Yeah. Why Tyler?
He's got a style that I think I can beat. I mean, he's a good fighter. I don't call out. If you follow me at all, you know that I don't call out bums. I'm not calling out new guys. I'm not calling out debut guys. I'm talking about, really experienced fighters. And Tyler just struck me as somebody that I can beat. He actually called me out first. That's a big misconception, is that I went after him. When he came over here to the States, I was the first one, and he said he would fight. And then he backed away from that pretty quick. We were jabbing back and forth online for a while until I seen him at the BKFC. I believe it was 14 or 13 in Miami.
Yeah.
And once he seen me, he was in the audience. Once he seen me, like an hour or two later, I was blocked on all social media. I dwarf Tyler. I make him look like a boy. And I just think, he likes to fight younger, or not younger, but smaller guys. That's why he got banned from your guys' boxing league, because he was cutting way too much weight to beat up on smaller guys. He's too afraid to get up with the big boys. Okay,
so the plan. I mean, what weight would you be looking at fighting at? Would you move up to?
Yeah, I mean, I want to fight. I walk around pretty heavy. The 135-pound class that I was in BKFC is just not my weight. It's way too small. I want to fight at 145, but I would walk up to 155 to fight Tyler.
Okay, I mean, so he fought 145 and 155 over here. So yeah, the weight makes sense. I mean, you're quite a tall guy. What are you, 6'1"?
6'1", yep.
And you cut down to 135.
Well, I cut down to 137.4. I didn't quite make the 136-pound limit. But yeah, I mean,
that cut must have been pretty substantial. I mean, when was the last time you cut weight?
Never.
Never before.
Never before. I'm 37 years old. I haven't fought in like 14 years. And I usually fought around my walking weight. Like I would fight, I'd maybe cut, 4 or 5, 6 pounds, something like that.
Okay.
But that was just naturally cutting, just warming up and shit. Yeah, I never really cut weight before, and I drastically miscalculated how much damage it would do to my body. I don't even really remember the fight.
Really? I mean, it's, you hear these horror stories of people cutting weight, and you never want to lose a bout off of a fight, but you always want to look after the fighter's safety as well. Is it something? Do you think the weight cutting should have some restrictions?
No, I mean, you really just shouldn't cut this much weight doing bare knuckle, because your body's affected. Your mind's affected, your skin is affected, and you can cut easier. It's just something that you should not do. And I miscalculated what I don't think there needs to be any regulations. You know what I mean? I don't think you should. I don't think you should. I don't think that you should limit people's abilities. Like nobody thought I was going to make the weight that I made, and I did it safely, to where I didn't have to go to the hospital, but it did affect my performance. So I believe the weight issues, the weight cutting should be up to the fighter. I mean, if the fighter wants to take that risk, let them take it.
I suppose when you've got guys, long history of wrestling or boxing, I imagine it's something that your body gets used to a lot more if you've been doing it for, potentially decades. So you being, 37 years old, making a fair big cut, I can imagine that really took its toll on you as well. Speaking of your debut on BKFC, I was surprised with your opponent. I'm surprised you didn't get another debutant in BKFC. You took on a young hungry guy with 2 stoppage wins as well. Kudos for the opponent, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, they offered me a couple different opponents, and I told them that I wanted the toughest test. And the way that I was taught, they had never seen me fight before. I'm the first BKFC fighter that's ever been signed that they've never seen throw a punch.
Yeah.
And the way that I was talking and the claims that I was making, they expected me to go out there and do fireworks. And I believe I did that as far as like I brought the hype, I brought the entertainment, the excitement to the fight, but my performance didn't bring any fireworks by no means. And that's not to say that I'm embarrassed by it, but I just know that was not my performance out there that I was looking to make my debut with.
So, Brandon, how long from deciding that you were gonna step in to actually having your bout? How long was that? And sort of, could you talk us through the journey of deciding to actually going in there and doing it?
Yeah. So I used to take mushrooms. I still do, to help battle depression.
Okay.
And it was in a vision last year, and I just envisioned myself in the BKFC ring. I didn't know what ring it was at the time. I knew it was circular, and it was in a stadium. And when I came out of the trip, I kind of just figured out like, oh, this is BKFC. Like I have to do this. So that's when I started, campaigning. I've called out a lot of different people, like, Joe Riggs, Julian Lane, legitimate people. And then Tyler came along, and we're still kind of here. I truly believe in my heart that fight's going to happen at some point.
I mean, him and Mark Godber sort of flying the flag for the UK over at BKFC. So no doubt you're going to bump into him at events, or or hopefully we get to see that fight. I've seen Tyler fight a few times. I've seen him fight in a previous organisation, and I watched him fight against Crazy Horse as well. And potentially underestimated Crazy Horse a little bit in his debut.
Yeah, he underestimated him, but he was also partying. Like Tyler uses COVID as an excuse and all this other shit. He wasn't training. He wasn't tired. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like COVID had affected his cardio. So he wasn't tired throughout the whole fight. He just wasn't there. And he wasn't there because he wanted to fucking party all the time. And it's the same thing he's doing now. He can't wait to get back to Vegas to party. The reason he was bitching about the money is because he spent all the money in Vegas. I watched Tyler get a check from David Feldman that night in Biloxi, in Biloxi. I watched him get a check. And, you know, like, I know that they've already hashed all that out. Whatever happened, but it's his MO every time. When he left BKB, he did the same thing. Oh, they didn't pay me. Oh, they didn't pay me. It's the same MO with both those fuckers. I have no use for either one of them. They both need to steer clear of me because I'll fight either one of them.
I mean, fair play. So you mentioned you want to fight on the Miami card. So would you be rolling sort of almost straight after your friend's bout? Would you roll straight into a training camp then? What do your training camps look like?
Well, I'm actually going to be starting training camp tomorrow. Like I said, I just got here today, but I'm going to start my training camp tomorrow and just roll it through with Elvin's. Once Elvin gets done fighting, I'll continue my training camp. I'll probably do that in the rest of Florida with my opponent's camp, Jared Grant's camp at Slaughterhouse. Coach Ryan Perez. We became really close after the fight. They're great people. I have a lot of respect for them and their team, and they've offered to coach me. So I'm definitely going to be on that.
Cool. So what, did he reach out to you? Did he after the fight?
Yeah, he was actually in my cut room. So when you leave the fights, you go to a room to kind of decompress and make sure you're not hurt and all that.
Yeah.
And I mean, before I could even get checked out, him and his coach and his other cornerman were in my locker room to congratulate me. They knew how hard of a weight cut I had. They knew the reasons that I was doing this, and they just wanted to come over and give me their congratulations and their respect. And I just thought it was fucking awesome because he should have been in his other locker room celebrating his win, and he was over consoling me. So it just shows a lot of his character and his team's character for doing that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think, I don't mean any offense for this, but people weren't expecting you to, last 3 rounds in there, definitely. And it really surprised me, and it sort of showed, he landed some shots on you as well. It wasn't like you were taking no damage during those first 2 rounds either. I watched it back, and again, kudos to you for staying in there, and and hopefully you've earned a lot of fans from that as well. I know you've got a good social media following, but have you noticed an uptake in fans reaching out, or bigger social media presence since?
Yeah, I get a lot of call outs. People think that I'm the ticket into the BKFC now. Oh, tell David Feldman I'm going to fight you. I'll fight you for free. Set this up, set that up, like I'm a matchmaker. And, a lot of hateful comments on all the videos or whatever, people that are sitting on their couch watching me. But, a lot of fighters have actually reached out and was like, damn, I can't believe you made that weight. Awesome, this and that and this and that. My performance wasn't anything to gawk about or to talk about or to praise. But for me, making the weight that I did and how I did it in the time frame, I'm proud of myself for even making that walk. And then, like you said, man, people expected, there was a bet backstage that I would fold within 30 seconds.
Really?
And, I mean, Jared is young, but he's an experienced fighter. He's an experienced boxer. And I took him longer than anybody else had, longer than any other experienced fighters had, so I'm proud of myself for that. For me being on the biggest stage like that was my debut, my pro debut. I made it on the biggest card on the, one of the biggest promotions for bare knuckle, the biggest promotion for bare knuckle. There was a lot of pressure, not really pressure, but there was a lot of emotion, I guess, not any pressure. I felt good when I walked in there. I felt good, as I was, circling the ring, and the reality hit me as soon as the referee stood in between us. I knew I was there for a fight. And I was kind of more focused on the entertainment aspect of it, and I gassed myself out.
Is that what you'd say, went wrong?
Well, no, what went wrong was he was a better fighter than me. Because I mean, nothing that I say, I never want to take anything away from Jared. I don't want to diminish his performance by any means, but what went wrong was the weight cut. I mean, I really don't even remember the fight, to be honest with you. I remember bits and pieces of it just from watching it back. I have shit on my face. I was like, damn, I don't even remember getting hit. And he was piecing me up pretty good. So I think I took that pretty well. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people say I folded, but I got tired. And he hit me in the body, knocked me back against the ropes. And then when I seen the punch coming, I turned my head into it. And he hit me in the back of the head unintentionally. And that's why he got the stoppage win, because it was unintentional. It was my fault for turning into it. But that's what put me down, and it put me out because I didn't remember where I was for like 20 seconds.
Well, I mean, it's really good of him to to reach out as well, and hopefully, did you say Slaughterhouse is part of?
Yes, Slaughterhouse Boxing. Yeah,
yeah, okay.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've been to Fort Lauderdale. It's nice there on a military exercise. Yeah, man, that'd be great. Hopefully, you'll get a good amount of, not just the boxing quality, but also sparring partners as well. It's great to, I know that, from speaking to people, it's great to travel around and get, the experience of other fighters, and you can just, just sharpen your game up. You're still fairly new to bare knuckle. And, although you've entered at an age where, not many people, go into combat sports, unless it's a sort of, your Chris Liebens, who's, sort of a wild card. You don't often get people, stepping in. But yeah, man, I hope to see you. Hope to see you on that card in Miami. Hopefully against Tyler. If not, is there anybody else?
I mean, I'll fight anybody they want me to fight, but I want Tyler Goodjohn. If he thinks I'm going to go away, if I get another opponent or he gets a fight, sorely mistaken. Because I mean, I was even talking to people about coming over to England to fight him in the hay bales. So
in Spartan Wars.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know Tyler and Mark are running the Southwest ring bare knuckle element of Spartan Wars there. I mean, is that something you'd entertain one day?
Possibly. I mean, if it's against Tyler, yeah. Like, if I come, I do want to fight in England. But if I fight in England, it'll be for BKFC.
Okay. I mean, it's the biggest bare knuckle promotion on the planet, and by all accounts, there's a good production level. It looks good. They've got their pay-per-view and the app are nailed down. It's nice to see people getting some real exposure. bare knuckle fighters getting some real exposure rather than it's been around a long time in Great Britain. I don't know about the USA, but in England definitely it's been around a long time. It wasn't that long ago that we were going and watching stuff in car parks and fields. And now it's come on leaps and bounds in the UK, and all for a good reason as well. The fighters are safer, they're being paid better money. So it's real good to see.
Yep, I'm very happy with the growth that it's experiencing in this short period of time that's over here.
So are there many promotions over in the US? Are there?
No, I mean, not for bare knuckle.
Okay. I saw Valor that Mark Godbear fought in. I think that was Shamrock's promotion.
Yeah,
but it sort of disappeared after that one event.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that that folded. I suppose probably we forget in the UK how big America actually is. And some of the states are as big as the whole UK. So I suppose some of the states might have their own promotions that I don't know. Hey, Brandon, I won't keep you from your buddies there. It looks nice where you are in Puerto Rico. It almost looked like a wallpaper background when you was looking down onto the beach there.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to train in that?
Right.
Yeah, nice. Man, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. And I'll make sure that I post this out on all the platforms. And I hope you get the Tyler fight, and I wish you luck. And hopefully we'll get to see you again on the Miami card, fighting at hopefully 145, 155 maybe.
Yeah, it'd be one of those two weight classes for sure. But I really appreciate you letting me come on today, and appreciate your time, appreciate the questions, and appreciate the support.
Cool. Thanks very much, Brandon. Enjoy your time.
You have a good one, boss. Thank you
too.
Bye.
So that was Brandon Lambert there, talking, about his upcoming training camps, helping, his teammates train for the upcoming Block C BKFC event, and potentially being on the card in Miami, hopefully against Tyler Goodjohn. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'm jealous of his training area there. I might have to sign up and start fighting BKFC if it means I can go out and do training camps on the beach in Puerto Rico. Guys, we've sort of come to the end of this episode, or potentially the end of it. We'll have a quick chat about the sort of the bare knuckle elements. I think with Brandon there, he got a lot of bad press fairly recently, and I'm talking pre Tyler Goodjohn issues and pre calling people out. I think the one thing that people need to remember, is it takes guts and balls to get in any type of cage, ring, arena, any combat sport. It's so lonely when you're in there. I had a very, very limited amount of experience amateur boxing, when I was young, and people don't realise that it doesn't matter how much training you do, the fact that your coaches are in the corner, the fact that you give it the big, I am, you can be as prepared as you want. Once you step in there, whether it be the ring, the cage, the octagon, whatever, you are on your own against somebody whose sole purpose is to be in there as well. And they are just as prepared or more prepared, less prepared than you are to do you damage as well. And I think people forget that. And I say this all the time, you've got fighters out there that have got these huge loss records, but they deserve respect as well. They put it all on the line to get in there, whether it be on little shows, big shows, whether they're being paid big bucks or being paid nothing. They all deserve our respect, and kudos to anybody that steps into any type of ring, the bales, pit, cage, etc., etc. So I'm definitely not going to downplay that, and full kudos to Brandon for actually going in there and doing it on the big stage as well, on BKFC's promotion. We've sort of come to the end of our episode. I'm so happy, man. That is my first interview sort of ticked off in the bag, and I'm really happy with how it went. I'm no means, I'm not a journalist. I haven't been to school and learned about interview techniques. I am asking the questions that people have asked me to ask, or that I want to ask because I'm genuinely a big fights fan. I hope that you, the fans, got everything you wanted from it. Like I said, if not, ping me some messages, ping me some emails, comment on the post, and I will get back to you. I will be as interactive as you want me to be. Please comment, like, subscribe, go and listen on the podcast, or just keep your eyes and ears out on any of the social media platforms as well. I really hope and think that this will be the movement and the pedestal I need to sort of go up and up. I'm really hoping that I can get more interviews in with hopefully a longer lead time than we've had. It was a pure opportune moment with Brandon there, and the guy was kind enough to take time out of his day. He's obviously very busy traveling around, jet setting around the globe. but he took the time out to answer the questions and, you know, make himself available for the fans. Okay, so again, thanks to Brandon for that. Yeah, guys, like, comment, follow. I won't keep you anymore. Expect more episodes and more quick fire episodes as well. You know, I'm real keen to grow the community. If anybody wants, okay, I've got all the stickers. I've got you know, I've got stickers. I've got t-shirts coming. I've got cards. You know, reach out, comment. You know, ping me over your addresses, and I'll send you some stuff out as well. Cool, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Peace out.